What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, we are taking a look at what to do if you have a stale listing. Stand by for the next episode of the HyperFast Show. All right, welcome back to the HyperFast Show. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to look at what to do if you have a listing that is sitting. And, this may be more applicable to people than it was a year or two ago, because in the last few months we've seen inventory creep up in many markets. Every market's different, of course, but nationwide inventories are on the rise, and listings are taking longer to sell in many cases. Now, that's not to say we're in a buyer's market. Nationally we're certainly not. Everything is different, though. You may be in your market, right? So take that with a grain of salt, right? Everything in real estate is obviously local, hyper-local even. So you can't just look at the national statistics. But I do think, more and more real estate agents are seeing listings sit, right? With higher interest rates, higher costs, things are just taking longer. And, anytime a listing is sitting, you need to take proactive action, not only just to move it, but to prevent getting fired, right? Because if you may be doing everything right, and it may take a price adjustment, or that the seller doesn't want to do. But if you're not being proactive and communicating with the seller, you're in risk of being fired. So first, let's start with setting the expectations up front, right? A lot of real estate agents are very reluctant to push back on sellers' price recommendations or thoughts, especially when they're too high. And you need to show them up front with data. What has sold, what was withdrawn, what didn't sell, what's active, and really use the data to set reasonable expectations. Now, I'm not saying if they want to go a certain amount over your recommendation that you don't take the listing, but I do think you need to be proactive and have the discussion up front, where you tell them, like, all right, look, the data's showing your home's going to sell for $500. I hear that you want to list for $550. In most cases, people have found that's not the best way to get prices. The price they want, it takes longer, costs you money, and ultimately you sell for lower than if we come out the gate priced right. However, I understand that, the list price is your choice. If you do want to go higher than my recommendation, I suggest we come up with a plan ahead of time that we both agree to, of what happens if we try your price and it doesn't work. So after X number of days and X number of showings, if either or, if we don't have an offer, we cut by 5%, right? Or 25,000. And then if another X days or showings go by and no offers, we cut again. That's the kind of conversation you need to have up front. You need to get that in writing and have a plan in place. Nonetheless, you could do everything right, and it just doesn't go as expected, or the market changes or whatever, and you have a listing that sits. So what do you do? Anytime listing's not selling, you got to look at the 4 P's: price, promotion, packaging, and placement. Right? Is your price right? In most cases, it's probably not, and it's probably going to take a 3 to 5% price cut. The people that do smaller typically don't get the results. So look at the price. Look at the promotion. How are you promoting the property? All right. Are you promoting it, to the right avatar, to the right buyer avatar? Like, is this a place for, move up buyers, first time home buyers, downsizers, right? And are you promoting it properly? And you gotta look at packaging. Like, are you packaging it correctly? Give it a hard look. Get feedback from other agents that you respect and trust. Right? Is the staging good? Are the pictures good? Lighting good? And then finally, placement. Are you placing it in the right channels? Like, do you have it on social? Do you have it? Have you done direct mail campaigns? Have you emailed your database about it? Have you made calls? Have you door knocked? Have you done opens in the neighborhood? So look at all of those things. Most likely, you're going to have to do a price cut, right? So along with the price cut, right, once you get the sellers to buy off on it, you always want to kind of re-promote the property, right? So if you price cut it on a Thursday, You want to have opens on Sunday and Saturday, perhaps. You want to door knock the neighborhood, call the neighborhood, email your database, email different agents, email the people that have showed it, right? Do all of that stuff when you have the price cuts. And more often than not, if the home, and again, every market's different. So in a hot market, 2 weeks may be enough before you do the price cut. In a more of a buyer's market, it might be 60 to 90 days. So you have to kind of know what the market, what type of market you're in, and really make sure that you're doing all the 4 P's, right? The price, promotion, packaging, placement, right? If you and then have honest conversations with the sellers regularly, right? Up front, I think in your listing, you need to establish that, once a week, you're going to give them feedback, report, show them how many people viewed it online, how many people saved it. All this data is available. It's easy to do and easy to, collect. Give them feedback showings, or give them feedback from the different showings. Tell them how the open house went, and all of this stuff. If you do this along the way, they're going to see that you're doing activity. They're going to see that you're working on their behalf. They're going to be less likely to fire you, and they're going to get data that shows that they need a price cut. If you don't give them this data and this feedback, it's going to be harder to get those price cuts. And ultimately, if a listing is sitting, yes, you want to relook at how you're marketing it and who you're getting the property in front of and all of that. But in reality, it probably is going to come down to price. And if you take these steps, it's going to be a lot easier to move listings that are stale and and keep from getting fired. So hopefully you've gotten some great value out of this. I do want to mention, for those of you who are listening and want more access to the coaching that Carrie Shull and I provide, we give you that for free when you align with us at eXp Realty. Right? So not only do you get all the benefits of EXP, the low caps, the low fees, stock awards, the ability to build revenue share, but we actually give you our coaching, give you our access to our masterminds, our Zooms, our coaching products, and we help you build your business, your team, your downline, whatever you want to build. If you want to learn more about how we can do that for you, all you need to do is send me a text message at 703-638-4393. Again, send me a text at 703-638-4393, and we'll have a honest conversation about what your business could look like partnering with billion-dollar agents and top sponsoring agents at eXp Realty. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the show. We will see you next time.